The mitten has returned again, returned a fourth time, and returned two, and so has its OG co-champion. Let's bring him in.
Yo,
He's back, baby.
It feels good. I feel a little uncomfortable though. You know, I feel like I'm like a little more highbrow. Is there anything you can do to like kind of like spruce things up for me? Like roll the red carpet out for your boy? What? Like what's up?
I was thinking you were a little prime time now. I thought this slot might not have been for you now. Like you were kind of like a 7 p.m. Eastern kind of guy, and I thought maybe we got to roll you out. We got to roll you out.
That's right. That's right. This is what I'm talking about. I need like camera flashes. Like, look over here, Nez. Very well acquainted. Very well acquainted now.
Man, welcome back.
Let me do you one better. Actually, let me just. They're calling me Hollywood Nez now. I don't know if you know this. This is what
Hollywood Nez.
This is the new name.
Oh my god, I love it so much. How was the trip, man?
Oh, it was a blast. Like I can't even front, man. Like that was like the first time we had been around that many like
A-listers,
famous people, like literally like A-listers, man. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Name drop it. Let me hear who was there. Who was
I locked eyes with Jamel Hill like mad times. So I don't know if she's like trying to like. Rumor has it she's looking for my number. She wants to know who that was, who the tall white guy was at the You People after party. Like I don't know if from Odd Future, like obviously like I met Tyler the Creator. I posted that picture. Like
Tyler or John doesn't know, which just
I literally had to Google him.
Yeah. So you won't know. Also, like Taco Bennett and Jasper, they were like in our section at the after party, like just like right next to us, like chilling. Or Marion sat like in front of us at the movie, texted the whole time, didn't even watch the movie. No, Tanisha Campbell, like all the actors in the movie. We saw Eddie Murphy, like literally like
Earl.
Right
you didn't get any Earl sweatshirt, little Frankie.
Don't do that. Earl doesn't step out.
GA, man, you're not alone here. He's name drop. He's holding back. He's reserving the big names. I can feel it. He's gonna have some that we know.
Big name. Man said Tyler the Creator, and I'm fangirling over here. The fact that you met, like, dude, that's just
it was awesome. I didn't like chat it up with like too many people, but Tyler was like at the end, so it's like the red carpet. You walk, and then there's like a section where you can like mingle, like see people you know, whatever. So Tyler was hanging out there for like 15 minutes. So I was like, I wasn't gonna say anything, but I'm like, this is just chilling. Like, let me just like ask for a quick pic. So I did.
Like, see, dude, he saw you and was like, "What's up, AJ? How's it going?" What's up, brother?
That's a badge bro right there. So it was dope, man. It was dope. The movie's funny too. January 27th. Check it out on Netflix.
That's so good. Yeah, I watched the trailer after you dropped it, and I was like, oh, this is Nez's life. Like,
it's a little too on the nose. Like they brought us out there just because they're like, where's the interracial couple online that we can find to bring to this premiere? Yeah, I'm sure that people were like looking at it as like, oh, okay, so they're the token interracial couple. Okay.
Yeah, they're like, oh, they're the case study. They're the case study 101. The script was made about the.
Dude, that's funny. Great, man. It's actually a good movie. I would recommend watching it.
Yeah, I mean, Jonah Hill, Eddie Murphy, and who else is in it? Like, I mean, that's
Lauren London is in it. I forget Elaine Bennis's real name, but she's like a supporting actress in it. She's really funny in it. Eddie Murphy is just so funny, man. It's great. They got him back outside. It was great. And no, my wife is not in the movie. Not yet.
Nez was.
Yeah. I was Jonah Hill.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, I didn't know Taco was in the movie himself.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he's Eddie Murphy's son in it. He's a good actor too. Yeah, thank you, Neil. I see it on screen. I still don't know how to say that, but she's in it. David Duchovny as well.
Did you say Neil Long too?
Californication. Californication. What a G. Yeah. Oh, right man. All right. Yo, Nez, have you been drafting any balls?
Oh yeah. Come on. You think just because I up my social status, you think I'm done on the app? No shot, man. I did a ton of drafts.
How many were you drafting on the red carpet when nobody was looking?
I was all business on the red carpet.
Good. Yo, Tyler, check this out. You see the stack I just pulled off?
Yeah.
And he's sitting there just like,
yo, Tyler, peep my bill stack.
Scroll the F down, son.
Come on. He's like, what are you doing? Like, I've seen this like 6 times.
Like this, all the lineups look good this week. Come on, NEZ. We all know that.
Oh, man.
I got in 30 mitten returns again, so that's my baby. So hopefully that's enough for me to take it home.
Again, not this one that just dropped this morning.
Correct.
I was like, how the fuck
no,
did you
Jesus.
get 30 in?
No, that's insane.
Oh man, these are the GOAT comments right now. Dominant draft last midnight. I was starstruck. NEZ bringing the A-listers to the platform of the people. Oh, I love it so much.
I'm trying.
Oh man, Tyler, can you believe how this normie did it?
He's like, well, clearly they didn't say the pledge.
He would understand.
They didn't say the pledge. Oh man, so good. All right, let's talk a little ball. I think I want to talk. Yesterday was less about this weekend because obviously we had Crane here. Great show there, talking through. Asked him some questions that I didn't think he'd heard yet. But it really it wasn't this week focused. I think today's like the deep dive, and I was doing
all things divisional today. We're not touching.
Yeah,
divisional. Everyone's got their fix of playoffs. I mean, from us to Pete to ETR to everyone. I mean, everyone's got it. They know that it's the regurgitated stuff. This is going to be the definitive divisional round. Draft show.
Yeah, and I think there's a couple places to start. We got some good data from Chad. We've compiled 169 drafts together so far. Nice. Well done.
Super nice.
Very nice.
I also just want to say, just real quick, shout out Chad. In these tools, the combinatorial ownership, I literally just got him to add another drop down column on one of them. So now and it was specifically because of this week we're mega stacking. So I added it so we could do 4 in one of them, so you can kind of get that. So people can play around with that. He did it for all of the columns, not just one. So Chad, again, thank you. You're the GOAT. Continue.
There you go. Chattahoochee.
Oh, man. Like and subscribe if you're also here.
Yes, Nimmy. Yes, I couldn't agree more.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So Chad sent me a little bit of that, what you're talking about, by adding the 4th column and running some of the double stack data we can see. So what we're seeing is those front end stacks so prevalent, right? We're seeing Mahomes, Kelsey 14%. Like that's a big number, right? We're seeing Diggs, Josh Allen 37, Hurts, AJ Brown 36, Hurts, Smith 27, CD, Dak 25, right? And then if we jump in to like the double stacks, we're seeing Josh Allen double stacked 14% of the time. We're seeing Mahomes double stacked 13.6% of the time. Dak 12.4, Trevor Lawrence 10% of the time. Daniel Jones, 7%. Jalen Hurts, 7%. And who'd I miss? Burrow, 7.6%. Brock Purdy, 5.92. So what this all illustrates to me is how are we going to get different on this slate comparative to the field? And it's becoming like slimmer and slimmer paths because we're dealing with such dense correlation and such a dense pool of people being drafted. And the scroll to F down this week might not be that because the projectable points that we're sacrificing might be way too many. So how are we going to do this? Well, I think it's focusing on condensing our own player pool even smaller, picking one game environment, picking one isolated tight end, picking one, like something like this. And that's how you get your leverage, but it's super high variant. What do you guys think about that?
I do think that's interesting. It's always interesting to do onslaughts. It's always been like, kind of looking at this as like a large showdown style and like porting those type of strategies into these condensed battle royales seems to be definitely a strategy. It doesn't work every time, but it's definitely something that can hit and is not something that's utilized by the field probably enough. One thing I'm looking at here that like I literally just like can't take my eyes from is the Mahomes 98% run back Is that real?
That's wild.
That to me seems highly exploitable because I think we would all agree that Mahomes doesn't need a run back to go nuclear, right? Like it's the first game in the playoffs. It's the Jaguars. I mean, if we don't need 6, we don't need all these scores from the Jaguars for Mahomes to go nuclear. That is crazy to me. That's crazy.
Yeah, and the Mahomes stack percentage stands out as well at that 73% because a guy like Mahomes who spreads it around so much, like I could pick 5 stack partners for him. Like, why do I even have to? Right?
Yeah,
what about a little naked Mahomes? What a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I will say though, he is the least stacked, at least by the top 4.
That's true.
So
that's fair.
I think that probably reflects that. And people are gonna just try to hit the right one. Now it would be interesting to see who he is most stacked with, and I would bet it's Juju because Juju is going really late in these battle royales. There's a few players I didn't like write them down necessarily, but there are a few players that are going much later in the battle royale than they are in like the gauntlet or the mitten returns that I think is like interesting and trying to wrap my head around that. And Juju's one of them. He goes way earlier in the best ball contest than he does here. And man, this certainly feels like a spot for Juju. But also we have Sky. I mean, I don't expect Sky Moore to do anything, but like he's not on the injury report. You know, like you said, he just Mahomes just spreads the ball around so much. It's tough, but man, any Chief just feels fine.
Yeah, Nez, to your point about Mahomes, Juju's 32% of the time stacked with Mahomes. McKinnon's 1% behind him with 31%.
That makes sense.
And then you go to his other options. Kelsey, we'll take that. That's high. That's pretty 12% is high. MVS, 4%.
Okay.
Yeah.
4.
Let's introduce a little leverage there by picking that back end stacked option. You know,
love that. Yeah.
And again, I think that's
those air yards add up, right?
Yeah, that's what I want to advocate when we bring out these plays this week. Everyone in chat, you can immediately tell us gross, and start typing out why. Grain of salt, we're trying to find leverage. This is all the plays are going to be basically leverage ways to do this, to do that. Like, we're not coming out here and making our stands these plays. They're all going to be leverage plays. They're all just going to be trying to find ways to get off these super chalky combos, 4 games. This is how every draft is going the same. I went through all the draft boards this morning. 6th-round Burrow looks like it's the norm now. Like, you get 6th-round Burrow, don't screenshot it. I don't want to screenshot Burrow anymore in 6th round because that's one of the most. That's more common than Burrow going before the 6th round. Like, it's incredible. So yeah, I think the challenge, no screenshots this weekend or today unless it's gross. I'm not even kidding you. Unless it's just simply, I wanted to throw up and LED that doesn't count by taking 3 wide receivers at ADP. Literally scroll down.
Let him cook, man.
Scroll down.
Let LED cook. I don't care.
Make lineups that make you puke. Like, within reason, obviously, but if you're thinking this lineup, you shouldn't build it because of this and this can't happen, but it's still a sound lineup, build it that way. Like, things can break in 4 games, in just 4 games. You know what I mean? So
yeah, okay, let's go game by game because I think it's really helpful, and I want to talk a little more like hand in the dirt and a little more specific than we have been. This is the best pass matchup on the slate. It is the highest team total for the Chiefs, but we have no idea on their auxiliary pass catchers. Mecole Hardman was ruled out, which gives me a nice little bump for Toney. I can paint a narrative about Kadarius Toney being the piece you need because of the outlying talent, the gadget rule, whatever. Give Andy Reid 2 weeks to prepare for a football game where they are heavy passing favorites, just in terms of matchup, and he will find ways to get his best playmakers the ball in space. And I think Kadarius Toney might now fit that mold. I was a little off him early in the week and a little scared of that, but now I'm kind of, coming around on that a little bit. The other big takeaway from this game for me is Travis Etienne. He projects pretty nicely. He's going to be the 3rd or 4th running back. His ADP is too high, in my opinion. I don't think I'm trying to play devil's advocate in a couple ways here. if the Jags are going to win this football game, how are they going to win the football game, right? I'm not sure it's come out and establish it, because what did they do last week? They came out, they were throwing it all over the place. Lawrence throws 4 picks. Then they come out in the second half and then they establish it like a little bit. And ATN still got his with the 20 carries. But I mean, he ran 40 routes and had 1 target, and JaMychal Hasty works over him in the pass catching role. If this game plays to its total, if it is Chiefs onslaught, if it is whatever, I don't think I really want much invested in Travis Etienne, regardless of what projections might say, regardless of what usage might be because of his pass game role. What do you guys think there?
Yeah, I mean, just the way this game is shaping up, I agree. Like the way that you said, like if this game is shaping up the way we think, I mean, the Chiefs are the only team in the NFL with a positive pass rate over expectation in every game this season. We know they're going to pass the ball, and then they're going to pass the ball, and then they're going to pass the ball, and then they're going to pass it on top of that. The Jaguars, on the other hand, have they're the closest. This is going off 1 week season. They have the closest narrowest range of pass rate over expectation in the entire league, which means they're heavily influenced by game environment. If they're going to be down, which we would like to think, Vegas is implying that they're going to have to pass. They're going to have to let Lawrence cook. Like ETN can get in there, but I agree with you. The way that this is all setting up, it's like it just seems like the Jags are going to have to attack them through the pass, and like they can obviously get the chunk yardage on the ground, but they're not the Chargers. You know what I mean? This isn't the Chargers run defense. So I don't think it's like a glorified run defense, but it's not as easy as a matchup as you get there. And I agree, it's a little too high. He's been a basically in the NBA terms, someone I click to get exposure to. But it's someone.
DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, that. Well said. Yeah, exactly that.
I find it really hard. I mean, wow, this is gonna be a hot take. I find it really hard to find a way that the Jags win this game. And I kind of look at this from a 2021, 2022 standpoint, where the Chiefs were kind of underwhelming in the regular season, surprisingly. And they were able to be bottled up like a lot just by playing like too high safety. And like all of a sudden, like the Chiefs offense looked like really mediocre. Like people kind of forget that. And then the Bengals, whenever the Bengals beat the Chiefs, were able to just completely bottle them up in the second half. Like it was really strange. Chiefs couldn't do shit. And then the Bengals ended up winning that game. I don't really think the Jaguars are built to do anything similar to that. I think Travis Etienne is going to be a huge fade, a big miss in these returns contests. Like I think he's going to feel like a really foolish draft pick. And I think in these Royales, I really don't see him as being somebody that can provide value because he doesn't catch balls out of the backfield. He's never caught more than 3 balls out of the backfield this season. His prop line right now is at like 3.0. It just doesn't seem like it can be in any way, shape, or form in a position to succeed in this game. So I like the Jags pass catchers, certainly, because I think they're going to see a lot of volume. I wouldn't be surprised if Lawrence far and away exceeds his passing attempt totals right now, which I believe the line on Underdog is like 38.5.
Yeah, seems low.
In my opinion, that seems really, really low. I don't see how he goes under that.
I got a little. Oh yeah, go ahead, Demi.
Well, I just want to say, like, John, this is to your point of how I think people may think the whole Travis Etienne pass catching is a little more than it is. Etienne has had a modest 3 targets only 3 times all season and has not surpassed 3 targets since the departure of James Robinson. Like it's just nothing has fundamentally changed there where he's that dump off pass catching back. I think someone put it up like it's hard for ETN to get cooking when Evan Ingram's taking like all that work right there. You know what I mean?
I agree with that. Yeah. And I don't know. Like I think you articulated it great where it's like, if you want exposure to it, buy the dip a little bit when he falls to 17 or 18, something like that. And you get a couple picks worth of ADP value. But I just don't think he's a target of mine this week. I think a fun way to build this game is to be like, fuck it. We don't know who Mahomes is throwing to. And just be like, naked Mahomes, 2 bringbacks on the Jags side that are both pass catchers late.
I like that.
Zay Jones, Evan Ingram, Mahomes in the first round, Zay Jones and Evan Ingram in the 5th and 6th. And then everything you build out in the middle there is another game, another piece, another correlation, whatever you want there.
I think that's definitely a viable build, and I like it. It's definitely like something.
Anything else to say on that game, gentlemen?
The Jags are 30th in pass DVOA. The Chiefs, we know what they do passing the ball. It's Patrick Mahomes. I agree with Nez. I just don't really see a way that maybe they can hang in there and it's closer than it is, but I think the Chiefs handily win this one. And that's affecting the way I'm kind of building out this. I think it's definitely going to be a little closer maybe than Vegas seems like, or maybe just more points. I think it's going to go over at least the over under, but I still think the Chiefs can, like, maybe it's the Chiefs putting up a 40 spot on them. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I agree. I think Nez's point, maybe the Chiefs have overwhelmed a little bit, and that's got a lot of Jags like underdog, like, oh look, like they're a lot.
Yeah, they have
underwhelmed people
a
team talking all this stuff, and so it's got a lot of like Jag hype, and I'm just like, let's just watch the Chiefs cook out here. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I like it. Yeah, I was saying earlier that if I could get Kelsey Mahomes in 100% of drafts this week, that would be my stance. I would take Kelsey Mahomes in 100% of drafts, I think that would be my number one exploitable spot on the slate, would be if you could give me that combination every time, and it's readily available within, the 14% number, which is more so than ever. I think it's my favorite spot on the slate, and I don't think that's like, that's not like a huge take. It's fucking Kelsey and Mahomes. But like, it just seems like if you line up all the ADPs, you line up all the early stacks, that would definitively be my favorite. Okay. We'll go Eagles, Giants here. Injury stuff. Lane Johnson expected to play. I think he's got like a hernia or something like that. They keep saying it, a groin / a core that needs surgery. That really screams like hernia to me, but that he's going to play. And then everybody else was talking up, what's the slot corner? Avonte Maddox. Avonte Maddox was trending in the right direction, and now he's trending in the wrong direction. And I do think that brings Richie James into play a little bit more than the field is giving credit right now. Everyone's looking at the box scores from last week from the Giants side. And they're going, oh, we got to get Hodges and we got to get Slayton. And if Slayton makes that catch at the end of the game, he goes over 100 yards, and those are the only guys getting drafted. I'm not sure it's that cut and dry with this offense. Isaiah Hodgins has a pretty bad ankle injury right now. I don't know if you guys have seen the pictures and stuff, but it's purple, it's yellow, it's full ankle sprain. It's all swelling along the bottom and this stuff. And it's playoff football, and he's going to play through that ankle. If it was week 14, I'm not sure Isaiah Hodgins is playing this week. So give me a couple Richie James snaps out of the slot here. But from my hand in the dirt football guy take, if the Giants have any chance of winning a divisional matchup where they're playing for the third time, they're going to just try and establish the fuck out of it, in my opinion. This is going to be nothing like last week. Daboll's a smart enough coach to be like, how do we beat the Vikings last week? Well, we're going to let Danny Dimes drop back 52 times. He's going to run 17 of them, and he's going to throw the other ones.
11-minute drive in the second quarter, literally keeping the other, like the JJ and all them off the field. So, and hence keeping Hurts off the field. Like, that's going to be his game plan. I agree with you. He's going to do everything in his power to keep his offense on the field and their offense off the field.
Exactly. It's going to be designed runs with Vanilla Vic. It's going to be short area pass catching, and it's going to be a whole bunch of Saquon. That's what I'm seeing from them, from a football guy. And then maybe they'll open it up if they're like trailing big time late kind of thing, because Daboll is a smart enough coach to be pivoting here and there. But when I look at this matchup, the trenches seems like a huge favorite to the Eagles side. But I also don't see another way that the Giants win this football game other than just going through the trenches. So I don't know. What do you guys think there, Nez?
Man, if there's any team that I think can upset, it's the Giants.
Ooh, I like it.
I can't fight it, man.
Wow, that mental struggle is tough.
Dude, it is. It's like, I thought that the field, whenever the field is like consensus on an upset, like that's when I start to fade it. Like everyone was like, oh yeah, the Giants were the trendy upset pick against the Vikings. And to that I was like, well, maybe you're underestimating the Vikings. And then they lost. Apologies, Numi. And now I'm back again. And I'm staring at this matchup with the Eagles and the Giants, and Jalen Hurts has only played like one game in like the last month. We don't know how healthy he is. And the Giants are just like this awesome, just dog of a team. And they're kind of changing the way that they use Daniel Jones. And we see this all the time in the playoffs where QBs run more in the playoffs because it just laid all this shit out on the line. We're seeing some more design runs for Danny Jones. Really like his over on the rushing yards. And I really like the way that his receivers have been playing ball, especially Isaiah Hodgins, man. He just has so much awareness on the field. Like he always knows where the sticks are. Danny Jones looks for him, catches the ball, and they just backpedals for like 6 yards, and then he's down. I know you saw it all damn game. I know. So it's just, I'm really intrigued by this matchup, and I can't stop taking my boy Danny Bellinger over and over again. And then on the flip side, though, like I am very much aware of the fact that the Giants defense is horrible in DVOA. Very much bottom of the barrel, like right next to the Vikings. So this has also written all over it, like Jalen Hurts, 100 yards rushing in the first quarter. Like type of outcomes. So this game could absolutely like pop the hell off. Probably my most excited game this entire weekend. I like everybody in this game. I like literally everybody. Even like you said, Miles Sanders. I know you were hyping up Miles Sanders. Could totally see him being the guy that pops off.
Dude, I love that Danny Bellinger shout. John came in here this week and just goes, here's what we need to do. You just go all in on that tight end. You go all in on that tight end. We don't spread it out. What do we need to do? And I mean,
I heard that take.
Danny Bellinger, 9% drafted.
Yeah.
Danny, I mean, I get the other tight ends on the side. I do that, but I mean, that's a way to do it. And that's, I think
if you can see the future, you do that. But like, and I'm not saying that you're saying that because I just know like I heard John say that like you just condense and like sure, that is absolutely that is absolutely a way if you have the bankroll to do it, get exploitable and then just build a ton of lineups around the tight end that you think could break the slate.
Yeah,
like sure.
Let me lose my $1,500 on Danny Bellinger. All right. Let me go with 0 for 1,500 here.
Tight end spot is the position that literally matters. Like you need to figure out that spot. We like, what is it week in after week out? Like it's you can have everything, but as long as you don't have that tight end there,
that is definitely the take. That is definitely the take.
I mean, what better way? Okay. Easy, is it the easiest way? No, is it like the clearest way to do it? No, but is it the easiest way in terms of resistance to vault your way up the leaderboard with Danny Bellinger 2 TDs and being the tight end you need? Yes, it's things like that is how we get up there, and all of a sudden it's like the rest of your guys, you can maybe have that dud because you separated at tight end and you have all of these other live bullets. So that's what I was trying to bring in.
Yeah, I agree with the thesis. I'm not sure that the player is Daniel Bellinger, but I don't know. It could be, absolutely. Right.
Yeah, I think he's definitely in play, but yeah.
I think the biggest mismatch on this slate outside of Kelsey versus Jags is Miles Sanders versus Giants run defense, or Jalen Hurts versus Giants run defense. But I do like where you were going there, Nez, with the Hurts has played one game of football and they treated him with kid gloves. They literally protected him in that week 18 game. They did not run him in the red zone. They did not run Miles Sanders very much in the red zone. It was Boston Scott all the time. I think that you push ground in the red zone versus Giants. And I do think that can come through Hurts if his shoulder is fine. I also think it can come through Miles Sanders. So it is a little bit of a stand that I was thinking through. Yeah. And then I was also thinking through the path where like they get up early, then it just becomes a Miles Sanders game. But it is highly volatile because, I mean, we haven't seen him get 20 touches in a minute, but it's within range outcomes. Yeah, I think I think this is my second least favorite like game environment,
Oh,
but
really?
I do see a lot of paths. Yeah, just from like a scoring standpoint, there's paths here to a lot of points to be scored by certain players. But if I was onslaughting or game stacking the shit out of something, this isn't the game that I'm targeting heaviest.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. Anything else to add on that game, or can we go Bengals Bills now, boys?
Let's keep it rolling.
All right. The Bengals Bills, the two highest, like I don't know how you say it, like closest but highest, like spread plus total,
Yeah.
closest but highest kind of thing. The Bengals got a chip on their shoulder. The Bengals had a legit chance at the 1 seed. Then that Monday Night Football tragedy happened with DeMar, and now all of a sudden they have to go to Buffalo for this game, for this emotional like rematch. We're talking like just straight football guy stuff. They're big time pissed that they didn't get a chance to win the bye, and now they have to travel to Buffalo, and they're doing all this petty shit. We saw Joe Mixon
Right.
so outspoken. We saw him bring the coin in his sock when he scored, or in his glove, and he scores the touchdown the next week, and he's flipping the coin, getting fined for that shit. I mean, these guys are petty as fuck, and they want this. But this Bengals offensive line is a problem. It is a big time problem. It's probably the weakest group left in the playoffs. It is big time injured. They're missing three original starters from the beginning of the season, and they're missing 4 starters from like 3 weeks ago. Burrow's going to have to get the ball out of his hand quick. They're not a huge blitz and pressure generating team. The Bills aren't, but like this doesn't set up great for Burrow finding big long yardage plays downfield.
Right.
This is like a get it out of his hand quickly, and I think Joe Mixon could see 5, 6, 7 catches in this ball game.
Yeah, I agree. That's my. Here's what I think on this game. I think if this is a game where the Bengals win, then we gotta. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at the comments. They're just trolling John. It's hilarious. Neil Farley and Sheep. It's just gold.
Second least favorite out of 4
It's
games.
Friday, man. This guy had a long night playing hockey. His brain's a little scrambled. Give him a second to find his words. But if the Bengals are going to win this game, we know their line is banged up. We know this is it's going to make things really difficult for Burrow to find his downfield threats and Higgins and Chase. Probably a lot of catches in store for Joe Mixon and or Samaje Perine. And and as I was saying, if they are going to win this game, it's probably going to be because of the errors of Josh Allen making mistakes, fumbling the football or throwing interceptions. Gosh, I can't remember the exact time frame, but the dude has like 30 turnovers and maybe the last like 18. Like dude turns the ball over a lot. And if he does it in crucial situations, maybe he's not past his own 50. Now the Bengals are in situations to score. It could definitely set up Joe Mixon for maybe like a quick score, or like you said, just a lot of catches out of the backfield because they have to get the ball out in a hurry. I think he is definitely a potential skeleton key in a matchup where I think many people are just focusing on the line, on the offensive line issues, and just thinking that the Bengals get steamrolled because the spread opened at 3.5 and now it's at 5.5, and I could see this getting even worse as we get closer to is that Saturday?
One thing I will also add there is it is the worst weather game on the slate. It's not tragic, but it is just noteworthy that it is the only kind of rain, sleet, snow combination that could be in the mix. We've had our thoughts in the past that doesn't affect football games as much as the field generally gives it credit, and blah, blah, blah. We could go through the whole spiel that wind is more important, but just of note, on only a 4-game slate, this is the shit weather one comparatively. So just, I don't know how much is actionable, but just something to share there. Numi, thoughts, Bengals, Bills?
Now you guys covered it. Let's keep moving. Keep chugging along.
good there. Yeah, I mean, I think the Bills have a lot of fun pass catchers to mix in. We're going to get Isaiah McKenzie back. We're seeing almost a complete split in that backfield, but James Cook is getting basically the good role in terms of like the pass catching stuff.
My question would be just in terms of how you two would play it. So in terms of that backfield, I don't think for me, and this is just the way I would do it, is if I'm going to take some of those backfield, I would consistently just take one guy and make that bet rather than hedge lineups with, oh, I did a Singletary lineup here and a Cook lineup there. I would just take the same guy over and over of that Bengals backfield rather than try and catch it, because it's like, oh, like if you want them, you want both of your lineups to hit, then they both put up a 10, rather than if you go all in on a guy, you're hoping he, kind of breaks it, but gives you that score. Would you guys be on that same method, or would you just be like, no, I'm going to try and at least just have a little bit of Singletary, a little bit of Cook if I'm getting Bills running backs?
Oh, it's tough, man. It's tough. I do feel like it's probably smarter to go one way or the other. I've been James Cook like throughout these playoffs, but Singletary is still getting work, so I'm not sure. I don't know what to think about it.
I know,
I'm trying to avoid it in general.
Yeah. So I think there's there's really just two ways you should. For me, there's two ways I'm gonna like approach it really going forward. I don't know if I have many from that backfield. I'm like 15 drafts in. It's either avoid it completely, or you just take one. You don't take one or the other. It's just you take one. So then if that guy hits, those lineups are going, rather than it's like, oh, half of them are dead and half of them worked out.
Yeah. Generally speaking, I think I in split backfields, I err on the side of the lower ADP target.
Yeah.
In this
But
case,
so close,
I don't think that's worthy. I've been going a little bit more Cook because I think the pass game is real and I think the explosive nature is real. But if we go down to, goal to go and that sort of thing, I'm almost certain it's going to be Singletary on the field, and it's going to be Josh Allen running kind of zone read.
Cook was on the goal line and had that like goal line or in red zone.
Yeah, they split opportunities in the red zone last week, 7-7, I believe.
Yeah, so I think that's for me. That would just continue to be like, just take your stab on the guy, and rather that be the lower ADP guy, which they're very close, 35.3 for Singletary, 34 for Cook. I
was thinking of the Eli Mitchell backfield. Singletary 3, James Cook 1 in terms of red zone.
Yeah, I mean,
opportunities
3-1,
last week.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting thing. I was kind of battling myself on. Wanted to get your.
I think Josh Allen is their goal line back. The other guy I will add is Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis's ADP has been low-key skyrocketing. He has the break the slate profile. He has I don't have the number in front of me. I had it earlier. He has something like a 25% target share since like the midpoint of the season, and basically it's like it's him and Diggs that are like separated by like a percentage point, and then everybody else is kind of like shit mix. And I don't think we're giving Gabe Davis enough credit, just because our perception of him was like, he didn't meet our fantasy expectations this year. So everybody's kind of like down on him for a second. I mean, like, Gabe Davis balled the F out last week, and he could certainly do it again this week and break the slate with like 130 yards and 2 scores.
It's for me, it's the kind of like I know their numbers aren't, maybe they're not the 1-for-1, but it's like Stephon up there, Gabe Davis down there. It's like that discrepancy. It's just like I'm naturally feel like I'm going to have more Gabe Davis. The way ADP is kind of playing out.
Yeah, and especially given the prevalency of the Josh Allen Diggs stack at like 24% or whatever I mentioned earlier, I think getting different at the front end of your draft boards, granted that's small sample, granted that's just our sample, blah, blah, blah. And you definitely, don't get me wrong, you definitely want Allen Diggs, but like in other weeks past, I would click Allen Diggs at 100% frequency. This week, I'm not. Like, give me Chase Diggs sometimes, like if I can get it, right? Like, give me Chase Diggs over Allen Diggs at some frequency as well. Give me like other combinations of paths within this game, because we're searching for different ways to score the unique points. Let's go Dallas Niners. I said something yesterday when Crane was on that I've been thinking a lot about is Dallas made the greatest quarterback in the modern era look pedestrian last week. How the fuck is Brock Purdy going to fare against that team? And I think the flip narrative to that is this is the Cowboys' 4th straight road game on a short week. This is the shortest week comparative to everybody else, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because they played the Monday. They played Monday night.
Yeah.
Niners have 2 extra days of rest. Cowboys are traveling. Cowboys are 4 straight road game. I don't know. It's just I don't know if it's actionable. I'm just thinking through things that I've been looking at. Yeah, I formidable defensive fronts on both sides. Pass rush elite, both sides. I think this is the biggest potential dud fail spot on the slate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to port NEZ's playoff take over and be like, a guy that's going consistently in rounds 1 and 2 is going basically in the 6th round here in Mr. Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
So that's just an hilarious discrepancy. I know there's no correlation. I know the QB position and all that and just the hype and all that. But that's just something funny is I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I think the difference, I'll push back and say the scheme and the weapons that the 49ers have are, and just the 49ers are a different team. We know that. And you know that, obviously. But I mean, we're just starting to see the 49ers with Debo and CMC and the boys healthy. I mean, we saw that last week when I know you've probably seen this where CMC's in the back. Debo comes into the backfield. All of a sudden motions out to CMC's side. The whole defense is in flux. They're like, okay, we have CMC. It's like they're going to be doing, like, Kyle Shanahan's going to be coming up with these. So I agree the defense, but I think just the weapons and the way he can get the ball out and use these people, like, it's just going to be, I think Shanahan will find a way. Now, is it versus finding a way and how good this defense is? I agree with you. I think it's going to be tough for fantasy than more people think, but it's going to be interesting. Yeah, this is honestly my favorite game of the week just to watch. To see it unfold.
I tend to agree. Yeah, I tend to agree there. It's like it's the most intriguing because I have no idea what to expect. There's elite pass catching talent on both sides. There's elite defense on both sides, or perceived elite defense. There's elite pass rush, I will say, from the Dallas side, but getting Leighton Vander Esch back really helps. And
man, this is a tough game. This is really tough. I think when in doubt,
we need your Elijah Mitchell take right now.
Elijah Mitchell, man, he was getting usage out of the backfield in the passing game in the red zone. Like, God, I was so fucking jazzed up last week.
We know you were jumping jacking around your apartment. You were screaming out to the rooftop like 877 Elijah Mitchell. Now you're everyone's hearing it. Like,
and then it was just like negative rush after negative rush after negative rush. And I don't think that was Elijah Mitchell's fault. That's rarely the fault of the running back if they are running for a loss. Like, that is rarely the running back's fault. And it's because it was obvious that they were running in those situations. This is going to be a little different. I do think Elijah Mitchell has touchdown equity upside again. But I don't think I think his ceiling is very much understood in that it's not very high. However, there are not a lot of great running back spots on this slate is the thing. So I think Elijah Mitchell's in play again, and
he should be. If he was in play on a 6-game slate with less options now, he should be definitely in play. Like, he should be still in play, if not a little bit more, just due to the nature of less options.
Right. And for me, I think like the answer is like when in doubt, you just take CeeDee Lamb. He's just so safe. Really, really stepping up in these big moments for the Cowboys. And despite having multiple mittens close and be filled, the Cowboys are still being drafted as if they're the Jaguars and the and the Giants, and they're not. They're not. They have an absolute chance to beat the 49ers. And they have awesome weapons to take. So I know we don't want to touch too much on these playoff contests, but CeeDee Lamb being available in like the 4th, 3rd round in these playoff contests is kind of ridiculous. And
just from a talent standpoint.
Yeah, it just doesn't really add up to me. Along with Dak, who looked like phenomenal in that game against the Bucs. So who knows if they're going to turn into pumpkins this game? I mean, I'm still waiting on it. I know we know like what the Cowboys have, and they are like the classic setup for a Super Bowl run of a team, which is a team that can pass rush to an elite extent and then score points on the offensive end. They are built for this. It's just a matter of if they actually come out and execute. But man, CeeDee Lamb feels so good in these. Dalton Schultz feels really good in these battle royales. But on the running back side, Zeke feels really, really bad. But Tony Pollard, I think, given his price, I've seen him go undrafted a couple times. So that to me just like shouldn't happen. So this should be a fun game, but also has a chance to be like a 20-13 like smash mouth of a football game as well.
Yeah, that's my only fear with this game, but there are so many fun pieces in it, and there are like pieces on both sides of those defense, though they grade out so well defensively from a DVOA standpoint, though they both grade out very well in terms of the pass rush. There are 2 exploitable pieces on those defense. We have Xavier Rhodes. He played a really nice game last week, but like him playing corner this week and getting like Debo or something like that feels like a different beast than just having to play perimeter outside corner versus Mike Evans. You know what I mean?
The roads are closed. Roads closed, baby.
I love that. Yeah, and then on the other side of the ball, to your CD point, T-Bear's been in the chat all week. Terrence has been going on about how CeeDee Lamb's just going to cook Charvarius Ward. And I tend to kind of agree there. If we get last week's version of Dak, upset definitely in the making here. But my biggest fear and why it's my least favorite game on the slate, despite all the talent and stuff, is the Purdy thing scares me. And so does just the potential slugfest on either side here.
Yeah. I mean, a lot to think through, but oh man, this is a fun weekend.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, and I will say just I'm going to bring it back to the spreadsheet noob that I am in Vegas. It's, if we want to just bring in Vegas team totals, they basically have the 4th, or San Francisco is the 4th highest. Dallas has the 2nd lowest. The guys that we were kind of hyping up in a way, not hyping up, but saying that we liked them as an upset. The Giants have the worst or the lowest game total. So I will say, it's not like saying this game's going to fail, but I just feel like in terms of, we'll bring in Mark, the range of outcomes in this game feels like they have more paths to fail or be in that slog than people are giving credit for. Shut up, Mark. Congrats, by the way. If you are.
Congrats to Mark. Yeah, we should have led with that. They did have the baby, beautiful baby girl. I'm trying to remember the name right now.
Yeah, let me.
Oh, I just had I was just looking at it.
Sent it to me. That you put it on.
I can get it.
Claire.
Yeah.
Claire. There we go.
Claire. Yeah, that's cute.
Claire Juniper. Claire Juniper Garcia. Yeah. So shout out to Mark. Yeah, obviously hasn't been here in a minute. So we just said all those things about my least favorite game environment, and I'm just going to keep clicking CMC's name at the 2 minute. I mean, he's just fucking CMC, man.
Yeah, man. He's game environment proof. Truly. Like, no matter how you chop it up.
I sent you guys a tweet that with all of the 4 guys healthy on San Francisco, their team target share and just everything, Debo to the moon, huh? Like the one that goes down is CMC drastically. Now I know that's target share; it doesn't have anything to do with his total opportunities. But Debo, I will say it again. Don't listen to me. I'm the one that said JJ is going to put up a number that you're going to need. But Debo seems like basically CMC light in the second, like just the same. He's going to get the same run, the same opportunity. I don't know. And again, take it for what you want, but I just saw this and it's like Debo just seems like he's going to have the same opportunity as the CMC. He's getting rushes in the backfield. They're literally scheming. They have 10 to 15 plays schemed up for Debo. Like it's.
How many of those? I'd be interested to see how many of those all 4 active 7 games player with Brock Purdy. I would venture to guess only last weekend, but I don't know. Let's go ahead and take CD Lamb here. Nice little easy stack partner when he falls with CMC. It's going to be heavily owned. I would venture a guess if we put it into the old combinatorial ownership tab that it would be in the 23% range. 20,
that sounds about right.
Yeah, 23%, something like that. Hey guys, we got 70 of us hanging out, jamming, drafting some teams together, having a laugh. Do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe while you guys are here hanging out. It does a world of good for us playing the old algorithm game. NEZ boy, you haven't made a pick this week. I'm thinking Joe Mixon here for all the fun narratives we pointed and get access to a different game environment, but you could twist my arm into something else.
No, let's do Mixon. Let's play the Bills lose, and Joe Mixon scores and catches a bunch of balls.
I like it.
I don't know if I can. This is dumb. All right, I can't. I don't know if this is a combinatorial thing is working.
Were you getting some absurd outputs?
Well, I have this Dawson Knox that I can't get out of there, but it's saying at one point it was saying 63. Ooh. I moved it down, and then it was saying 43.
5 more subscribers for
which I would assume it's high, but I don't know if it's that high. Oh, let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Didn't we just hit like 500?
Yeah, man. The boys are booming.
Yeah, Chad, if you're here, you want to help me out or let me know.
It's the crane bump.
Yeah, that's what it is. You're about to get a big NEZ bump when I take down the Mitten Returns Again Part 2.
It returns again.
And I split first with 3 people again.
Part 3 again. We would have had an interesting decision there if Burrow had come back to be like, do we pair Burrow Mixon? Mm-hmm. I think that one might be a little bit rare in terms of, I don't know. Just thinking through.
I got a preference here, but can we after this pick comes in, I wonder what Scooter is working with.
Okay, so Kittle goes there. Kittle might have been fun to set up a Purdy there. Scooter's working with a little hodgepodge right there, but he's going Kansas City and Jags by the looks of it. I think Schultz fits this to make it a Dak team.
I think so too.
Okay. The other one that you could have told me was we could have taken Ingram and then like Kadarius Toney or Juju with the other pick, get a little access to the other game environment. Yep. But I also don't really want to keep falling in these patterns of mini correlation runbacks because I think in some instances they're actually negatively correlated, even though we think they're positively correlated. In terms of the way these yardage go, and I would rather have 2 from the same team.
Feels a little trappy.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been thinking a lot recently about the shorter games and the way in which points are scored in terms of correlation patterns of like, if you're going to score a touchdown and a team is going to score a touchdown, like you need them to get the ball down there, and it's not always that happens through.
We don't have to take Dak, by the way. We can go wide receiver here. I believe. I think Tilted Bob, or maybe there's one.
They all have quarterbacks.
Cool. So Juju, I think, is definitely an option.
As a one-off,
potentially. Or if there's somebody else you like as a one-off.
Let's click Juju because we were clicking Juju, but I don't love it, to be honest. I would have rather gone over correlated on the Dallas side.
Juju was drafted more as a one-off too.
Yeah, and I would have taken either. Yeah, I shouldn't have clicked back, and we should have thought this through and talked this through a little more. I think I would have taken either Tyler Boyd and kind of just got like the double Cincy. That's how they play through, because we're making a bet by taking Joe Mixon that Joe Mixon outscores T. Higgins, right? Well, how do we further the bet of Joe Mixon outscoring T. Higgins? We further it by taking Tyler Boyd as well. Like, and I don't know. It's just my brain's broken, but it's just like how I think through.
What does that to a guy, eh?
Yeah, it's just
only thing you can think of is Dangle, Snipe, Selly, all over these freaking kids.
I think that's fair.
Fuck them kids. I am literally the the
I just
Michael
don't like
Jordan
Joe.
meme.
I don't like Tyler Boyd, to be honest.
I agree.
I just think he is just very. We saw he's had like one blow up game all year.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, of course, this is why Tyler Boyd's Tyler Boyd. He can always do this, and then he just goes back to irrelevancy.
Well, I would hope he's irrelevant on a team that has fucking Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Joe Mixon. I'd hope he'd be the fourth option, and he has a one blow up game a year.
I mean, people are trying to say he's like a 1C, and he's not.
Who the fuck?
Tyler Boyd?
What Twitter are you on, sir?
I was there.
I think that was more of like a season-long contingency value take.
We're just naming C's at this point. It's like fucking KJ Osborne, the 1C, baby.
I think he's a really good football player. I just don't think he's like the piece you'll need this week. But who knows?
It's always the piece you don't think you're gonna need that scores the first tutty.
I mean, I'm just like surprised that Juju goes pretty late.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna name names. I'm not naming names, but when Boyd had his really good game, lot of revisionist takes about we should have known.
Fair. Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, he hasn't done, and he has not done it since.
A little Dak double. This one feels exactly what went against our original thesis, but it's kind of like just a byproduct of how the boards fall on the left-hand side a little bit when you have CMC. So maybe if we run left-hand side of the board again, we should try and flip the build a little bit in terms of like pair nothing with CMC.
Yeah.
Build out a different game with CMC.
John,
like, you know, yeah.
There is one Justin Watson draft in our thing. Is it you? 169. I look down here. I'm like, what? Why is this? Everything's red. I see 100%. One. I'm like, Justin Watson. There he is.
You guys have been warned. Yeah. Slate locks Saturday morning. Coin toss. Chiefs ball. Play action on the very first one. Pacheco's
Sky Moore 67 yard end around. Tutty.
Nope.
Book it.
Play action. Deep shot. Single high safety. Right there, Justin Watson. You heard it here first.
CD and CMC. I finally Chad had a little bug. Wasn't working, but they are 36% stacked together.
That seems it seems very, very chalky. Yeah.
I did lose.
Chris Evans is the one. Chris Evans is the one C of that backfield.
My dad wants me to talk about this. He's in the comments. Tell us why you really hate him. I did lose a state basketball playoff game to Tyler Boyd. My senior year.
There's always
that's such a good narrative.
Dad comes in and goes, "Hey son, let's tell him why you really hate him now."
Yeah, he wasn't like the dominant. Like they had a big guy on their team. He was probably like 6'4", like 250. That it was like a clash of the Titans. We had like a big on our team who he set the school record for points. He was nice. And it was a good game. We almost it was a really hard fought game, but that was my last basketball game of my high school career was against Tyler Boyd.
That's such a cool story. Sorry that you lost.
It's all right.
Who do you guys want to take here?
I would go Jalen Hurts if I was drafting on my own.
I would. Okay, sure. I would. It would be tough for me too, but I'm leaning Hurts a little bit too as well. Has anyone? You guys just need to tell me. That's because I want to know. You guys, people in chat. Last night I did back-to-back drafts and got Hurts, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, and I'm like, that's fun. I went and looked in the combinatorial ownership. I'm like, that's not that owned. I'll pull it up here, so maybe I'm not talking out of my ass.
These late night drafts, man, you can't call them. They're just crazy, absolutely crazy.
True.
That is a 2.3%, so it's pretty fun. And then I even stacked Miles Sanders on one of it too. And I said, you know what? Miles Sanders is the guy I did the John thing. They bring you down the field and then Miles Sanders punches it in.
Mm-hmm.
They get you the points down the field, the passing yards over and over. And then Miles Sanders is the touchdown equity you need.
Would be my high school football
team and
championship.
John was asking what team he played for. He was not a Penn. He was a Clariton. He was a Clariton Tiger or Bengal. They're it's the same school colors as a Cincy Bengals. But he was obviously at football just so nice. Clareton is just a powerhouse. The Bears.
Wow.
The Bears.
What the fuck?
The Bears.
You got a CMC Allen Diggs?
I don't like that
Well,
very much.
Yeah, that does not make me happy.
That upsets me.
I need to think about how that board went.
Yeah, have fun having your draft thrown out.
Yeah.
And why everyone was not drafting. Who'd you take in the like? Who did you? How did it?
Don't even waste your time because he was drafted with a bunch of nincompoops with soup for brains.
Okay, well, you got to lead with that. You got to lead with Sunday only.
Glad you got your son to spill the Boyd hate.
I don't even hate, dude. I really don't. I thought
there was a little salt there. There was a little salt coming out of there.
Of course,
he beat us fair and square. He was all right. I played better basketball players. I will say he wasn't like phenomenal.
I think we can go any which way here. I kind of like Mixon and then pray that Gabe Davis comes back, but I think, I kind of like that.
I would rather do McKinnon.
Yeah.
All right, sure.
Can't wait.
I don't know how
to be his week.
It's so hard to not come out of these drafts with like a chief for me.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I really don't like not having one chief. Just mixing
that's
it
fair.
up.
Yeah. For me, I'll say it's close there. I like Mixon. I'm still salty, but yeah. The parents are always more salty than the kids, aren't they? Though some of those parents take a little.
We were all really upset. I mean, it was my very last game in my high school career. It was upsetting. We had a nice team too. We should have made a run.
No more.
Would you play the three
to warm up?
I was like 3 of the 4. Yeah, I was guarding big guys. I was nice. You don't
what
want
are
me
you 6'2"?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I didn't work out in I played sports, but I wasn't like I wasn't jacked in high school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was like
same.
I was skinny.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, NEZ he wants to make sure he gets his props. He was a coach. That's why he was like salty.
Okay.
Oh,
we got you now.
Yeah, that's Coach NEZ. So
Coach NEZ. You guys make this pick because
John hates it already.
You feel so slighted by this draft.
No, not at all. I just don't really know where I want to go with
Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, and just go like onslaught side. Newman,
I think.
Vote?
Let's do Goddard. Yeah, sure.
That didn't sound convincing at all.
It
was the least convincing sure of all time. True to his nail. Yeah, let's do it. I'll score it. Yeah, sure.
Whatever.
Yeah,
I think that's fine.
The Giants defense is just really bad. If they're gonna lose, they're gonna get their shit stomped.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no.
Yo, print these on the shirt. You do enough battle royales, you
see
some shit.
A lot of
shit, man.
A lot of
seen some
food
shit in my day.
A lot of shit. Yeah, the PTSD coming out of these rooms is tough, man.
I was in I was in my hotel room a couple nights ago trying to do some gauntlet returns. In the bed, like my wife's trying to sleep, and like I'm getting so pissed off because
I sleep in the same bed as your wife. Nice.
I was fucking getting sniped so many times. I had a Gardner Minshew team. I had a Jimmy G Gardner Minshew team. I couldn't believe the shit I was seeing in these streets. 3 QBs before they even have like 2 wideouts.
You're just cursing under your breath. She just rolls over, still drafting the gauntlet, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like, just like let it go. You're not gonna win.
Manifest, Nez, manifest.
Oh, trust me.
Speaking of which, we will be back later today to do playoff stuff. So we've been doing all BR stuff now. Damn, I wanted Zay Jones.
Are we doing BR with them? I thought we were doing BRs.
I have no idea what we're going to do. We might be doing BRs. We might be doing playoff stuff, but we'll be back with Pete today at 3 p.m. Eastern on his channel. So we're doing a little double dip today. So we might just run 1, maybe 2 more drafts here and call this one a short one or shorter than usual. It's not short by any stretch. I don't know, boys. I don't know what to do here. I think Tony Pollard makes a lot of sense as just like the kind of like best play and best player. And then the other wide receiver spot
Kadarius Toney
filled with a back stack.
I'd rather do Pollard, I think.
Yeah, I'd rather do Pollard too. Yeah, I mean, doing like McKinnon, Tony, and that game runs through that, and then one run back on the other side.
The reason I think that's viable is because Mahomes can put up a big score. They get there through the air, and then Hurts is also putting up that big score to match. If not, you just needed Hurts, but you needed the other people from that team.
Definitely,
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Not impossible in the slightest.
I think I think it's a little tougher if you don't have Hurts or the guy. If you don't have one of those if you don't have a Mahomes, Hurts, like Allen, or you're basically, and your quarterback has to like use people from that team, and your thesis is they're passing. It's like, okay, well then how is this quarterback going to beat it? It's like, so yeah, my thing is like, if I have a Hurts or whatever, one of the three, and I have the pass catchers from that, I feel more safe knowing that at least my quarterback can have the score to like kind of off put it, or maybe they just they have the running touchdowns or whatever. So
yeah, I do.
Yeah, like
Tony's volume is a big concern though. We don't really
26% of snaps and full gadget.
I get it.
It's the perfect analogy of the assumption of rational coaching, and we're giving Andy Reid a lot of credit by buying into Kadarius Toney, right? Because like we've yet to see it, we've yet to
back here, but I would probably opt for my boy Hodgins, but I'll let you guys can.
We just stocked up Richie James, so
yeah, I think
I'm cool with Richie James too.
I think Hodgins is like kind of hurt. I think he'll play through it and play well. I think for the sake of the stream and for the sake of the bit and the equity and the slot receiver beating,
I do just want to like make sure that we're not like he was hurt before the Vikings game.
Yeah.
And
he was
put up 100 yards, by the way.
Yeah.
So
the Vikings are also not the Eagles.
Yeah, but the point is that the injury is stopping him, and it didn't stop him last week.
Right. Yeah.
So put some respect on my boy Isaiah Hodgins.
Yeah, but if NEZ ever clashed bodies in the paint versus Tyler Boyd once in his fucking life, he would know how high ankle sprains could really hinder your mobility the second game.
Just like Isaiah Hodgins backsigns his defenders, catch the ball. Where's the sticks?
Where's the sticks?
I'm down. He needs.
Could you dunk? Could you dunk?
No, I can't.
Yeah.
It's too hard. I can't to palm the ball and get it in. I can dunk. Give me tennis ball and we're going ham. But
yeah, so you can get up there, like you can grab rim.
Oh yeah. But I can't like dunk. Like if I'm on a fast break, like I could do a little like finger roll for you, but I'm not. I'm not dunking.
I threw it down once in my entire life, and it was in like layup lines pregame of like this Monday night game that we were playing. And
you're gonna get a technical foul. You can't do that in the warm-ups.
Dude, we knew the hoop was like a little low on the other side. And I was all hyped up on like a bunch of pre-workout and bullshit. And I was jacked up. And like I'd been like, it was like probably the best peak physical condition I'd been in my life. And I was like, I know this rim is like 9.2, 9.3, and slightly shorter on this side before the refs like fixed it and adjusted it. And I was like, dude, it was low. It was like tilted. And I was like, yo, I got to throw this down so that everybody thinks I'm legit in warm up. And then the ref like comes over and like fixes the shit back up.
Yeah. Like try it again, jackass.
Try again. Yeah, now I'm grabbing net.
Do it twice.
Very interesting spot here where we see all the position players run. We have our choice of quarterback. I think there is some merit to taking Saquon and then just seeing who comes back to us.
Yeah, that's I like that. Good call. That's called reading the room because, consolation prize of one of these three quarterbacks when only one is getting taken, like that, you definitely want the better position player and in that 5 spot there.
Yeah, I wanted it to be Hurts. I'm not going to lie. I am Team Mahomes over Josh Allen this week. I think just the matchup, the lack of like turnover shit, the lack of the weather, I know the upside with Josh Allen is always there. Mahomes is my favorite play on the slate at quarterback this week.
Yeah. He's You don't really need. There's nothing to say. It's Patrick Mahomes.
And for any of those idiots out there, even if Jalen Hurts had played the entire season, Patrick Mahomes was like historic good and was still the MVP this year. I'm putting that one out there. I'm saying that one.
I'm with you.
Yeah. And I just want to. So something I just want to pull out because I'm the spreadsheet guy. You want to talk about something interesting is a guy that's really popping in the spreadsheets in the combo that I got here compared to his backfield mate. We got a 16 ceiling, 16.3 for Mr. Isaiah Pacheco, and an 18 ceiling for Mr. Jerick McKinnon.
Yeah,
I totally get this is just pointing that out. Totally get what I just stated. Chiefs want to pass. Chiefs have the advantage through the pass. Like they pass literally pass rate over protection every single game. Get that. That's interesting to me. Ness, shut the fuck up. We get it. The nicest way to tell me to shut the fuck up. 2-point difference spreadsheet version. I'm gonna mixing that in. It's interesting.
No, I don't think
for a guy that's on McKinnon. That it's just something that makes me kind of like woo. Like I'm still in on McKinnon. But yeah, the Pacheco thing's interesting.
And it probably doesn't negative correlate as much as we think
with Mahomes. Like what would be the difference if you did a Mahomes Pacheco and you just said he got the one screen that took it? Now I know it's unlikely. I know that it's not happening, but we've seen him have a 60-yard screen. We've seen him get design screens and get the passes. Like they're not
big tier break at wide receiver, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and
major.
I kind of like Gabe Davis.
I could go for a one-off Gabe.
And just be like, that's what we need.
Let's see him get in the end zone, and then we still have our choice at some Chiefs too later on. And let's say there's 4 touchdowns in this football game, and Mahomes accounts for 3, and Pacheco accounts for 1. Like, but that can still that it's fine.
Oh, man, for real, why is this guy?
Jeez.
Fuck. I wanted Ingram there. I wanted Ingram there because I wanted to run naked Mahomes with double Jags and do Ingram plus Zay Jones. I kind of think I like Miles Sanders now.
Yeah, that's fine.
And just play this game through the ground, and then Gabe Davis might turn into like a one-off, and then we go double KC of like Kadarius Toney and Noah Gray.
Ooh.
Or
what about MVS?
Like something so gross. I don't know. This team fell off a cliff, in my opinion, with that. M Fitch is on the shit list now. That guy is. I'm gonna start making a new list of all the guys I'm gonna bully in draft rooms going forward, and he's on the hit list. It's gonna be like Roto Run's hit list, and it's gonna be like these are the guys I'm beating up on next.
You're
time.
the dude in Billy Madison.
Yeah,
The list.
Yeah,
dude. I'm just saying, MVS is 4% stacked with Mahomes. It just seems like a deep touchdown against that secondary. It could happen.
Have you ever heard of a guy named Justin Watson?
I get it. Well, guess what? He's probably going to get steamed now.
Oh, God. I want nothing to do with this.
Yeah. I like this. I liked what you were saying, Numi. I do think the Pacheco thing's going underlooked. I think he should be drafted more. I think he is going undrafted at some frequency, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah. Only drafted
83.
67%. Oh.
Ooh.
Sorry. So yeah, 60, and in our sample, 67% of the time.
Yeah, that's even lower than I would have thought.
And he is stacked 21% of the time and run back 57. So Yeah.
The thing I will add there is Goddard goes. We can mix Juju, obviously. We can mix Tony. We can go double Knox. I think I prefer putting the Knox side with Gabe Davis than going run back with Hayden Hurst, just from an opportunity standpoint. I guess it's just slapping us in the face that like we just paired Juju with Mahomes.
Whatever, dude. You're fine. No, dude.
I mean,
you don't want to do it.
Yes, MVS. It's MVS season.
No. I think Juju's just like such a better play, and this is just like
so
a
does everyone
boring
else.
Yeah, it's a boring safe team. Yep, I'm standing by that. I think MVS is just if I'm to take shots on MVS, it's not in this construction, and I can't elaborate as to why. I cannot.
Oh my brother.
This is what happens when John drives.
Yeah,
I know. One of these days, I'm gonna come on here and it's Numi's driving the fucking bus.
You come on here all the time.
I don't get to drive the bus. Did you say what are we talking about?
So we go 2 Bills.
Yeah, 2 Bills.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not improbable, but
that's how you get
better than Noah goddamn Gray.
I'll
tell you that.
Well, my thing with the 2 Bills is that's how you make this roster unique in a more logical pattern than just throwing a dart at MVS.
But if we're building lineups in DFS and we know that these people are being owned at this percentage, what is the one thing that you're going to do in a large field contest? Is you're going to take a guy that is projected. I mean, it's projected. Okay, what 11 ceiling? We get that. His ceiling is not something I don't think you can, because he has that
you
one
can't
play.
project his ceiling. Yeah.
So it's like,
no, I agree.
If you're telling me he's going at 7%. I'm trying to win a freaking GPP. That's the only reason I'm bringing that up. I totally get the MVS thing hasn't happened. I totally get all of that. Like, these are the easiest paths to first by stacking that on.
We understand. And I'm telling you that from a combinatorial standpoint, I can get almost as unique by stacking 2 Bills in that scenario and taking the floor of Juju, because the piece that's going to win me that lineup and that one roster construction there is not Juju. So it doesn't matter.
But it could be MVS.
It could be. It could be MVS. It absolutely could be MVS.
And it's not just that. It's anyone. It's any one of these guys in these scenarios, like a Richie James at 17, like Elijah Mitchell, like these dudes down here versus 100% drafted. Just go look at the sheet. Anyone that's doing this, like, if you put these in DFS ownership and you're telling yourself you're going to build lineups, like, yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. It's so jam-packed in these same lineups that I get the likelihood of it's going to take a lifetime for these lineups to hit, but like, man, that's what we're playing for, is it not?
Sometimes.
I don't know, man. I just MVS just hasn't really done.
I get that. I get that pushback. No pushback there from me. Totally get what MVS is.
My take isn't about MVS there. My take is about the way in which that lineup was constructed versus the way in which it could have been constructed. Like, MVS in that lineup just doesn't make as much sense. I can't explain it.
I think 95% of drafts since the start of this show have been, I would have done something different. Like, there's been maybe 5 drafts that you've drafted that are like, this is a good one. I like what we did here. Every draft, there's something that you want to do different. And it's normally you guiding the ship.
No.
I think that if my argument would be that if there was a time for MVS, I think that is the time where it's there's no other cheats, and then it's 2 touchdowns to MVS, because that's what he needs, right? He's not a yak guy, he's not a volume guy. We need literally multiple scores from MVS, or a really bad slate across the board, and MVS is the low score that matters. So that would just be my rebuttal there. That's my way of playing the immediate there.
4-game slate.
No
I think
gamble,
one long touchdown.
No gamble, no
is
future.
enough. I think 4-game slate, a one long tutty on the highest total game is plenty.
Yeah, this is impossible, Carlos. This is flat out impossible.
This is almost entirely friends and family here. You guys did a good job timing this battle royale up.
Yeah, here we go. Fantasy Dog Pound, former champion, hanging out. Nick's in there. James is in there. You love to see it. Doc Doom I've never seen before, but if you're hanging out, let us know.
I wonder if that's FF Doom.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Could be.
Let us know.
Oh.
A lot of QBs off the board. We'll just the big three, I guess.
Yeah, well, this is interesting because like this is quote unquote like a sharper friends and family room, and we see 4 run, and then the QBs all fall here, and I kind of think that's what almost all the draft boards should kind of look like. But like, this is very interesting that like you, regardless of how it gets drafted, you still end up with those stacks in that way. I think we can go. I kind of want to go Debo Onslaught here, and
okay, yeah,
I do,
and go like Purdy style, and just stack like that game environment. But the second pick here, I mean, my eyes go to Kittle and be like, yo, we could just get a weird ass triple stack that nobody else has. But I don't know what you guys think.
This is a really tough spot. This is really tough.
We could do Devonta and build out a backdoor Danny. You could do Mixon.
Okay.
You could
do. I kind of like this. I kind of like backdoor Danny with double San Fran. Because everyone who goes double San Fran there with CMC is thinking Purdy, and or they're thinking Dak back stack with Schultz or Dak back stack with Pollard.
Yeah, and Danny has the highest ceiling to the top 3 quarterbacks. It's a big drop off, but it's close. The delta's close between the other 4 or the other guys. But I mean, yeah, Danny is like slightly ahead of Burrow, and he's like, yeah, I think, and in terms, I think, yeah, the rushing ability, like Ned said. I mean, we saw him just stiff arming PP to the ground, running all over our guys.
Chill, I do. I prefer the. Yeah. I'm a DFS guy. Like I prefer the single weekend slates.
I like the strategy of it for sure, but yeah, I have more fun drafting the Royales for sure.
I think Nez might disagree.
Can't speak for Nez, yeah, as he flashes the ring.
Yeah, I mean, dude, these mittens are getting really, really just monotonous. To be honest, they're feeling fast.
How do you even fit a mitten on that hand?
You got to just do extra large glove. If it doesn't fit, you must have quit. But we find one that's the right size. But yeah, man, these mittens just get really monotonous, and there's a lot of snipes, and to me, to get unique in the mittens almost feels like borderline like negative EV. I don't know. I think if I'm gonna get exposure to like, I try to get unique with like my Jacksonville builds and my Giants builds, but even then they just look like shit. Like it's hard.
I think if we're going dimes, we take Sanders or Goddard.
I think we take Sanders or Goddard too. So you could take Sanders here. You could do the dimes with Bellinger if you wanted to make it easy, or you could just skip that and not have to do Bellinger. But I'm good with either of the
Sanders, Schultz, and then you get run back on the other game environment. You get this, and then we run it with naked Danny dimes.
Yeah, I wouldn't even
like, or we do Purdy if it doesn't fall back.
Yeah, I like that. I think both are
really good.
Yeah, both are options I would definitely like build out if I'm doing this multiple times. My first thought I would say would be probably do Danny Jones, Bellinger. If I have the same lineup again, same thing, get a different, put Schultz in there. So yeah, it's like my second choice. I like that. Another thing I was thinking probably too thin was going Sanders and Goddard and then bringing Danny Jones back. Thoughts on that? Again, probably you're just stacking on too much.
I think it's too thin to pull 3.
Yeah,
exactly.
Eagles.
That's what I was saying. That was my thought. My first thought was stacking the 3, bringing it back with none. That was my first thought. But yeah, again, too thin, I think, as well.
Yeah, probably. But
it's just going to be some weird lineup that like, it's just like, you know what I mean? It's just going to be the optimal plays, and someone slapped them together on a lineup that didn't really, I would have never got there type. We're going to look in there and go, I would have never got to this lineup. Like, maybe, I think that's a good strategy.
I don't know, man. I lately, the lineups that I see are just like, yeah, these are good, strong, sensible lineups. I haven't seen too much Galbrain taking home. The
I guess, my takes, the way I was building lineups, the way I was building, I would have never got there. Definitely was gettable. I should have refrained from that. So just the way I was going about my process.
I really like this.
What's my dude working with? Oh wow.
to Jamar and then reach in quotations on Gabe so that you can get Higgins, and then Burrow comes back because
Does
3
he triple stack
quarterbacks
with
are
Hurst?
taken
Yes,
on
he
this
does.
way. Yeah, I like it less now. But I thought it was really good.
Dak and Purdy make it back.
Yeah, so we have our choice. Dak and Purdy are probably the logical choices, but I kind of like Daniel Jones, and everything runs through him as the run back to this because we're kind of betting against Jalen Hurts here, and then
three of those guys on there could score rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like good deal, you know what I mean? Like
I gotta dip before you do this next.
Oh yeah,
one.
we probably should.
Okay, we'll just call it there, and then
12:30.
Yeah. Oh, he wanted. Yeah, wanted
All right,
Knox.
I will see you guys. I got my.
Well, here we'll just
here.
Your fam.
Okay. All right. Nez is out. Hollywood's out. Big time in the show. He's still got to leave early. Like, all right.
Eddie's calling,
money, baby.
We'll see you in a bit. Peace. All right. Appreciate everybody hanging out. We got 70 of us left here. If you do me a favor on your way out the door, hit that like, hit that subscribe. We'll be back with Pete on Pete's channel. He's doing something with Justin Freeman, who is the CEO, founder, blah, 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 of Run the Sims. So they'll be doing some DFS stuff and walking through that. And then we're going to hop on and do some BR and some whatever it's called. Mitten and
well maybe we'll try. We'll maybe work our way into more BRs since that's up our alley. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate all the kind words in the chat here, guys. Appreciate you guys. If you guys keep showing up, we'll keep showing up. Promise that. And we got some irons in the fire. We've been talking to some people, and some people have been talking to us, and we might have some more cool things coming your guys' way. So it's been a lot of fun for us, but it never happens without you guys. So much appreciated that everybody's taken some time to hang out and draft teams with us. It's been a lot of fun. Anyways, for myself, for Numi, for Nez, if you're not playing on Underdog Fantasy, what are you doing with your time? Use promo code BADGE at the sign up to get a 100% match deposit up to $100 USD. Good luck to everybody in the BR streets this weekend. Good luck to anybody playing hoops this evening. And RIP Nez's basketball career. Thanks to Tyler Boyd. Hope he scores 3 fucking touchdowns because he would have dunked all over Nez's ass. Everybody's favorite time of the show. Peace. The end.